doo 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 doo. Hey everybody, Killer Cruz here, bringing you another theater thoughts. This time on Spider-Man: Homecoming. I saw it not too long ago. I didn't see it just a few minutes ago, sadly. Um, but I loved it. I really like this movie. Spider-Man has come back to the Marvel Cinematic or come back to. He's come back to Marvel, but only for a while it seems, because now Sony wants to make a Venom movie and all kinds of mess. But anyways, let's talk about this movie. Real quick, I'll give the rating just as I always do. Um, it is real. It thumbs up for sure. Thumbs up. Go see it. Yeah, see it in theaters. Even that's what I say. I say see it in theaters. Yeah, thumbs up. See it in theaters. Opposed to the last Spider-Man movie, which was a thumbs down. Don't see it at all kind of thing. But this movie's really good. Tom Holland as Spider-Man is a great choice. A very young Spider-Man. He's 15. There's this line where he's like, "Well, you're 14." He's just, "I'm 15." Um, movie's really good. I suggest you go see it. So yeah, that's all I can say for spoiler free at least. There's a lot of stuff in the movie that I want to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it. So yeah, if you're still here, here's your spoiler warning. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so the movie starts off with a vlogging. I'm for one thought that it was okay in the trailer. So here it was like, I've seen it. I don't care. But we get to see a lot of Happy. Actually, we might see more Happy in this movie than we have in an Iron Man movie. Which I know that that's false, but we see him a lot. Iron Man. He's in this movie very sparingly. Like people thought, oh, he's gonna take over the movie. No, he's actually just a sort of a mentor figure. He kind of delivers the kind of line that's like Uncle Ben's "with great power comes great responsibility" type of thing. Oh, I am getting messages. Probably because I explained to my friends who Hobgoblin is, and I'll be getting to that in a second. If you're nothing without this shoot, if you're nothing without this suit, you have it. You shouldn't have it at all. Which I feel like is supposed to be their version of "with great power comes great responsibility." But my friends said that they think that it's just you're great even without it kind of thing, and I'm like I can see it going either way. But no mention of Uncle Ben in this movie. There is no great power, great responsibility, lines. But Spider-Man's actually quite responsible in this movie. Like there are times, like there's this party scene where he's supposed to show up and as Spider-Man, and he's supposed to be like, "Oh, Peter Parker's cool, Ned's cool," this kind of thing. But he doesn't. He sees something going down across town, so he goes after that instead. Of course, it's sort of that he wants to prove himself to be an Avenger, but still, that's more responsible than being cool at school. So that's pretty nice. And then, of course, there's the ending of the movie at the homecoming dance where he decides to go fight Vulture instead of go on his date with Liz. Which, during this movie, I'll get to this in just a second. I kept being like, her name's Liz Allen, right? Like, why do they keep calling her Liz Thomas? Or like, I was like, what the hell? I swear to God, her name's Liz Allen. And then I realized why her name's Liz Thomas in this movie. So I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes more sense. So the supporting cast in this movie is great. Michelle is maybe my favorite supporting cast, other than Ned, of course. Ned is great. But Michelle, she turns out to be MJ. She's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what they do with her. Liz Thomas. I almost said Liz Allen. She's fine. Flash Thompson, he's the jackass. I don't know why he's an academic decathlon thing, but that doesn't fit his character, but whatever. Betty Brant, you see her in this movie. Like, I saw Betty Brant, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then, of course, there's Ned. If you don't know, Ned Leeds. Here's the gist. Ned Leeds is Hobgoblin, and I'm not saying that this Ned is definitely not Hobgoblin material, but he might be. We'll see what happens. I don't think that he is. I heard another theory, again from Jeremy Johns, that Ned's father will be, maybe he's maybe he's Ned Leeds Jr., and Ned Leeds Sr. will be the Hobgoblin, and that makes sense to me, because I'd actually like to see the Hobgoblin other than the Green Goblin for once. But yeah, the Vulture is the bad guy in this movie, and he's good. He's a really good Marvel villain, which says something because Marvel's villains aren't very good, except for Loki. Loki's pretty good, but everybody else is pretty forgettable. Um, yeah, they're pretty forgettable. It's just like, oh, we know who they are and we know what they're supposed to be, but they don't do it. Um, but yeah, so the Vulture, what happens is he has this contract to clean up the city after the Avengers, because his crew is like they clean stuff up. But then damage control comes in, and if you don't know what damage control is, you should look it up. But essentially, they deal with all the superhero crises, and they clean up, and then they do all this stuff, right? And apparently, they're run by Stark Industries, or that's the impression that they're given in this movie, because they blame Tony Stark, but they don't blame Tony Stark all that much. They just kind of blame him. All this alien tech and whatnot. But what happens is he essentially gets fired from doing that. So him and his boys are gonna lose their jobs, and he invested a lot of money into this. So they're screwed. Well, they have this one shipment of all these Chitauri cores that they didn't turn in, and he's just like, "Boys, the world's changing. Time we change with it." So they end up making weapons out of it, and they make the Vulture suit, which it's pretty much like two. It's almost like you took a quad. What is that called? Quad. What the fuck is it called? A drone. It's almost like you took a drone and put wings on it. That's what it's like. Um, so he has this drone suit that he uses to fly around. But I mean, it's cool. It's very sharp and all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. And they do his costume really well, in my opinion. So like he's in high altitude and stuff, so he wears a jacket. But if you've ever seen the original design, he's got like the stuff that goes around him. It looks kind of silly. But in this movie, they do a really good job because he's wearing like Bane's jacket, so he's got the fluff on it already, and it makes him actually look respectable. And then what's cool is the reason that her name is Thomas is because she's the daughter of him, and his name is Adrian Thomas. That's what his name's always been. So that's why I was like, why is her name Thomas, not Alan? What the hell? She's the daughter. So when Peter goes to pick her up for homecoming, he gets her, and you see Vulture answers the door, or Adrian answers the door, or Batman answers the door. I say it's Michael Keaton, and Michael Keaton played Batman. But anyways, he answers the door, and at first my reaction was, "Oh my god, he knows he's kidnapped her. He knows who Peter Parker is and stuff. Kidnaps him." But that's not the case. It's her dad, and he's very dad-like. He's. I heard Jeremy Johns explain it this way. He said he's like Heisenberg. He does this for his family, and that's a great analogy, and I like that analogy a lot. So that's why I liked him so much. But he's being a threatening dad and all this stuff. He's really cool. So they take him. He drives them to the dance, and he starts recognizing I've met you before, and he starts recognizing the voice, and they realize, oh, this is Spider-Man. So he drops him off, and he has Peter stay in the car for a second so he can talk to him, and he turns around. He has a pistol in his hand. He turns around. He says, "Does she know?" And Peter's like, "Oh, does she know what?" And he's just like, "Good. We're going to keep it this way." And then he tells him, "You have a choice. Either you go have fun with my daughter, or you can try and stop me. But if you try and stop me again, I will kill you and everything you care about." And it's really threatening. It's really good. So then the final fight is Adrian trying to steal some trying to steal some more stuff. So the whole movie he's been trying to steal Chitauri cores from damage control. So now he decides he's going to steal something bigger. That because now the feds are onto him, because Spider-Man told Tony, and Tony told the feds, and they were trying to bust him, and that's that whole the whole scene on the ship, and that's why everything bad goes down there, which ultimately leads to Spider-Man getting a suit taken away. Which, oh fuck, a suit! I remember now. So then the final battle is them on a. It's not really a Quinjet, but it's kind of a Quinjet. Full of Avengers stuff, like Thor's magic belt. They said there's Thor's magic belt. There's Hulkbuster armor, and there was something else I can't remember what it was. But yeah, there's a whole bunch. There's arc cores, all kinds of stuff, right? Well, one thing that they had is Spider-Man ended up picking up a Chitauri core during an encounter with the Shocker, which, by the way, I'm really sad how underplayed the Shocker was in this. I really like the Shocker. So they like killed him, and then I was like, "Fuck, the Shocker's dead." And then they're just like, "No, you're the Shocker." I'm like, "Oh, I guess it's just it doesn't matter." I'm like, "Cool." But he doesn't. He's not that big of a deal. He's just kind of He's almost like the Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But anyways, they give it. They they have the Chitauri core, and it's radioactive. If it becomes radioactive, or if it's introduced to radiation, like through an X-ray scanner, then it becomes explosive, which leads to that whole scene in Washington D.C., which is really cool. I really like that scene. But anyways, back to the ending. The arc cores, they're kind of radioactive. So his core that's powering his suit has become reacted with it, and now it's going to blow up. Spider-Man saves him, and now he's arrested, and Liz moves to Oregon and all that stuff. And it ends with Tony inviting him to become an Avenger full time, but he declines. But they show the suit. The suit is the fucking Iron Spider suit. And I told one of my friends, I was just like, I bet you the Iron Spider's going to be in this movie. They're like, no, you're crazy. It's the new suit that he has. And I'm just like, oh, I guess that makes sense. But I feel like Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Iron Spider's got to be in this fucking movie, right? Sure enough, fucking is. Yeah, he shows him a suit. It's just like, yeah, here you go. And it's gold, it's red, it's the Iron fucking Spider. It's so shiny. I'm just like, that's it. Fuck yes, I was so happy. But of course, he turns it down. He wants to finish high school and stuff, which is really respectable. And then we see Pepper come back in. It's just like, oh fuck, she's back. All right, cool. Gwyneth Paltrow. But anyways, the movie ends with him going home. He gets his suit back. Tony gives him his suit back, and he puts it on. And then as he takes off the head, he's got it full on. Aunt May is like, "What the?" And then it cuts out. It's just like, "Oh well, now she knows." So that was great. Aunt May was pretty good in this movie too. But then the two after credit scenes, and this will be the last thing I talk about. Oh, Stan Lee cameo real fast. Stan Lee cameo is really cool. Spider-Man's doing his friendly neighborhood Spider-Man thing, and Stan Lee comes in, and he's like, "What are you doing, punk? Don't make me come down there." While Spider-Man stopped the guy from breaking into his own car. It was pretty funny. But the two after credit scenes. The first one was not Spider-Man. Adrian, or the Vulture, in prison, and he talks to this guy, which I've heard Scorpion. I've only seen the movie once, so I'm gonna go see it again. But there's apparently a scorpion tattoo on him, and I really, really like the scorpion, so I wanted to see the scorpion in a movie. So if that is the scorpion, I'm really excited. I saw him and I was like, who is this guy? I recognize this guy from somewhere, and then I realized I recognize him from Better Call Saul. But he says that he has a group of guys that they want to take out Spider-Man with, and they say that Vulture knows who he is, and Vulture says, no, if I knew who he was, he'd be dead by now. And they go, and they're setting up a Sinister Six. I'm so excited to see it. So excited, but I don't know why Vulture didn't, because maybe it's a respect thing because he saved his daughter and he saved his own life, or maybe it's because he wants to take him out himself, but we'll see. Either way, I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And the second one is, so throughout the movie, there are these PSAs done by Captain America, and we see one through the perspective of the audience, and it's saying, you've learned something very special today. It's about patience, and sometimes what you wait for is pretty disappointing. And that's it. That's pretty much it. It's him just coming out being like, you learned something about patience. And while patience can sometimes be disappointing because of what you waited for. And it's like, that's it. You got nothing story based on it. It was just a small joke. But you're wrong if you think that I'm not going to stay for it the second time I go see it, because I'm totally going to see that again because it was really funny. But yeah, I'm going to go see the movie again with some friends soon. I recommend you go see it in theaters. Really fun. If you like Spider-Man, if you like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're really gonna like this movie. If you like superheroes, I think you'll like this movie. It's just a lot of fun. So hope you guys like this video. If you did, maybe check out some of my other ones. Have a good day, guys. Take it easy, everybody.